What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video, and today we're going to be counting down 5 more client-side mods that I feel like you guys would really enjoy. Now, I did a video like this in the past showing off a couple different client-side mods, and you guys seem to really enjoy it, so I figured we'd do another one here. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. Alright guys, so the first mod up on our list here is the inventory sorter mod. Now, there are a lot of different mods that do similar functions as this mod, but I really like this mod just because it's very simple, and it only focuses on inventory sorting. So if we go into this chest here, just pick a random chest, you can see it adds a new button up here, which will sort the inventory. And you can see this is all messed up. It's all unsorted. You know, we have random stuff everywhere. But if we go ahead and hit this, it will go ahead and sort it all by name. It'll sort it by custom name first and then a regular item name. So you can see normally the O's would be, you know, down here with like the elk boat and whatever. But because this is a custom name banner, you can tell because it's italicized, it'll sort that first, and then it will sort regular named items. And this will also work for our inventory. So if we have our inventory sort of messed up here and we go ahead and click the button, it'll put it all back up in order up here. And you can see I have this one custom name, so that goes in the top left first. And then it'll put the arrows next to it. It'll always go from top left to bottom right, and that works for chests, barrels, your inventory, and I don't think there's a way to change that. But there are some other cool customization features for this mod if you have the mod menu mod installed. If you go into there, click on inventory sorter, hit the little configure button up here. There are a couple of different settings you can change. First is display button inventory. If you just wanted to turn inventory sorting off for whatever reason, this will turn it off for every inventory. Whether it be chests, barrels, your regular inventory. Always display button for player inventory. If you have this turned on, we can go ahead and test that real quick. When we go in the chest, we'll also have an inventory sorting button for our inventory down here. If you remember before, when that option was turned off, there was only this button up here and not the one down here. And then there's the display sort button tooltip, which I don't really like having on, but if you go in here, it'll just say sort by name, sort by ID, or whatever you have it sorting by. And then you can change the sorting method. So if you wanted to go in alphabetical order, or by the category of the item, or by what mod it's from if you're playing with a larger mod pack, or from its Minecraft ID, you can have it with any of those four. You can have it so sorting also sorts the player inventory. So if you were to go sort a chest, that would also sort your player inventory at the same time with one button, if you want it like that. And then middle clicking to sort inventory. If you just middle mouse wheel click in the chest or in your inventory, it would sort it. You can turn that on if you wanted a nicer hotkey for it, as opposed to just clicking the little button. I guess so. Next up, we have the notes mod, and to access this mod, the default keybind is N. And you can also change this in the settings to whatever keybind you want. But we can go ahead and make a new note here, and we can name it like spawner location if we wanted to. And we could just make it like -500, 20, 600, you know, and then we could go ahead and save that. And then you can see our note is right here. We click done, and it'll bring up a little thing of our note right here, and we could copy it. We could pin it if we wanted to. So you can see it just puts our spawner location right there on the side. That'll just display the contents of the note if you wanted to have it saved on the side so you know where you were going. You can click on it and you can edit it and change what it says. So maybe you got it wrong. Maybe it's actually Y700. You can go ahead and save it again. You can make it global, which I'm pretty sure this just makes it so other players can see it as well. You can copy the biome. You can copy the chunk. Okay, so maybe don't click these buttons because they just crashed my game. I don't know what that's about. I'll be sure to put in a bug report. This mod works really, really well for, you know, saving locations in the game, or just reminding yourself about certain things. Normally I like to use a notepad on my phone, but sometimes, you know, I lose the notes or I forget they're there. This way they're all saved within the world. And I really like having that display feature. So if I go and pin it on the side, you know, I can go ahead and see that spawner location, or whatever I want there. Maybe I need to remember to return items to somebody. But yeah, this is a really cool mod, especially for multiplayer servers where you might be interacting with other people. And might need to be remembering where different nether portals are to different people's bases or anything like that. This is a really handy mod. And let's go ahead and move right into the next one. Alright guys, next up here we have the OK Zoomer mod. And basically what this mod does is it just adds in a highly customizable zoom key. It's similar to the zoom key that you would get with Optifine, if you guys are familiar with that, except this one is extremely customizable. You can do almost whatever you want with it. But if you go ahead and zoom in here, you can see we can see that sheep right over there. And there are a lot of options in the settings. So first off, let's just go into the regular controls. The default key is C, which I think is the same as Optifine, but there are also decrease zoom, increase zoom, and reset zoom. Now what decrease and increase do is I can go ahead and show you here. So if you just make it J and K, for example, we can go ahead and zoom in, and then if we hold down the J key, you can see it zooms it out, and then we can go ahead and zoom back in with K, and if you hold it down, it'll zoom in, and or we can just do it step by step. This iron golem's kind of in my way here. what are you doing, buddy? Yeah, we can hold it down to zoom in all the way at once, kind of have it nice cinematic, or we can step it out one by one. You can also go into the mod config settings if you have the mod menu mod installed. And there are a lot of different options. So you can have a cinematic camera. You can reduce the sensitivity on it. You can change the transition. You can have it smooth or linear. If you don't want to set 2 extra keybinds for increasing and decreasing zoom, you can have it set to do that with scroll wheel. You can have an overlay. You can change how much it increases and decreases by. There's a ton of different settings here for you guys to play with. Highly customizable, which is what I really like about it. That was the OK Zoomer mod, and let's go ahead and move into our next mod. Alright guys, next up here we have the Sodium mod. Now this is the mod I covered in its own video a little while ago, which I'll have linked in the description down below if you guys want to check it out in a lot more detail. But essentially what this does is it's just Optifine, but a lot better, and more specifically it's Optifine for Fabric. Optifine, if you don't know, is a FPS boosting mod. It gives you a lot more FPS and makes it so Minecraft will run a lot better on lower end hardware. And Sodium does the same thing. It gives you a lot more frames and makes Minecraft a lot more playable on worse hardware. However, Sodium takes that to the max. It gives you a lot more FPS. You can see I'm sitting over in my main base area. I'm getting anywhere between 100 and 200 FPS depending on where I'm looking, which is absolutely insane. Normally with Optifine in this area, I sit anywhere between say 80 and 120 or so. This is boosting my FPS an incredible amount, which is really nice to see. The one thing I don't really like about Sodium though is it changes these video settings a whole lot. Optifine keeps it looking like vanilla settings, but gives you even more settings on top of that. And while it does give you cool stuff like you can change the quality of different stuff, and it gives you some more advanced options if you want to play around with these. I don't really like the look of this menu, and I wish he would have kept it more in line with how vanilla Minecraft video settings look. And maybe that's coming in the future, but for now I just don't think this looks very nice. But that was the Sodium mod. Like I said, if you want to check out this mod in more detail, I have my own dedicated video on it down in the description below, which you guys should go check out. But let's go ahead and move into the last mod here. Alright guys, and last up here is the Your Options Shall Be Respected mod. Now there really isn't any way I can really show this to you guys, more so I can just kind of explain what it does. Pretty much what this mod does is it adds in its own config file, which will mean that when you change versions and there isn't a config file ready for 1.16.5 or wherever you have this mod installed, it will pull its own config file and make that the default config. So normally when you change versions, like if you were to play in 1.16.5, then go back down to 1.8, for example, and then go back up to 1.16.5, you would normally lose all of your config settings. So whatever you had, your controls, if you were to change around some of these controls like I do, or if you were to change your music settings or your video settings, those would get removed if you were to go down to, you know, like I said, 1.8 and then back up to 1.16.5. But with this mod, all your options get saved. Like I said, they get saved to their own file that this mod creates, and then those get loaded back up if there isn't a default config. So you don't lose any of your configurations if you change around your keybinds. All of those get saved with this mod, which I think is pretty nice, especially for somebody like me who might go and use 1.8 to play on a server like Hypixel, and then goes and plays on a 1.14 server, who then might go and, you know, play in a 1.17 snapshot single player world. It's really nice to have all of your config files saved in between the different versions. So yeah, there's really not any way for me to show this other than just me telling you guys about it. But this is a really cool mod if you change versions a whole lot like I do. But I think that'll about wrap it up for this mod. And that will also wrap it up for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. If there are any mods you guys want me to go into more detail with in its own separate video, make sure to let me know in the comments below. And if there are also any mods you guys want me to check out for future videos like this, either in its own video or to put in the showcase list video like this, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to cover those sometime in the future. I do also stream a variety of games, including Minecraft, over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/achaser. I try to be live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 11 a.m. And that will do it for today's video, guys, and I'll see you guys all next time.